This is our orchard on the 10th of May. And these bushes are Feijoas, which are massively popular in New Zealand for this reason. All these fruit. And what's great about them is that they drop when they're ripe, but they don't go rotten on the ground quickly at all. And they're the most delicious thing. Most New Zealanders are addicted to them. They're just crazy nice. Sort of sweet, sort of tart, just delicious. And the fact that they're in the middle of May, just before winter, the ripening is then, that it's almost the only fruit left ripening. Two little trees here. Look at all these fruit just fallen on the ground. These ones seem to be especially long. Look at that monster over the back there. I'll give you a demonstration. I don't know how I'll do that with two hands, but anyway. This is a beauty. I'll bite it open. And you just chew that. You can eat the outsides. Most people just eat the inside. If you break it open, eat one smaller end, then you can use that end as a scoop to scoop the rest out. It is super nice. We've got one tree that produces these round ones with a red hue on them. I do not know what it is, but they are very, very good. Very, very good. And that's what's left. There's no big seeds or pith or center seed or anything. It's all just fruit inside. They are delicious. Like I said, they're used for everywhere in New Zealand for border property fences. We've got about 24 of them down here as a windbreak for the orchard. And they're now producing, after about 4 or 5 years, you could only describe it as prolifically. The trick is knowing what to do with them all. I think I'm going to make jam, and then I'm going to make my own invention, which is Feijoa juice. Okay, I picked this bucket of Feijoas in about 3 minutes underneath two little bushes. It's a huge amount. There's miles and miles and kilometers of them left. I found this beauty. Look at that. Let's see what it weighs. $134 grams. 133 grams. What a beauty. And then this one. Look at that. $176 grams. Soft. Yielding. It's going to be a lot of juice and flesh in there. So I'm going to cut these in half and scoop out the inserts to make preserved Feijoa pulp. Okay, we're going to make Feijoa juice or pulp. These are Feijoas. I'm just going to cut them in half. Scoop out the middle, the pulp. Throw it in rubbish. And repeat. Really juicy. Nice. I've added the sugar, water and citric acid you can see in the recipe. I've got about 1800 grams of Feijoas here, and I'm just using the liquidizer to pulp it up, and then I'll heat it. The pulping with the liquidizer is not long. It's just enough to break up the chunks of Feijoa. That's it. It's quite watery, and that's what we're after. I'm heating this up with stirring because I can hear it bubbling on the bottom, which is not a good thing. That's a prelude to burning usually. So I'm going to hit 90 degrees for 5 minutes to pasteurize it. There's no reason why not boiling, but I always think you kill some of the flavor and nutrients by boiling. So we're just pasteurizing this. I'm getting these little jars and putting them in the oven to clean them and put some boiling water on their lids. I'm using quite small jars because this is a strong flavored juice, and you can't do much of it eat much of it at a time. So this is going to go over ice cream or with yogurt, and it's more a topping. So you don't want big jars of it, otherwise it'll just end up in the fridge. In fact, at about 84, it's got a line and arrow which says sterilize out of the liquid there. So going to 90 will sterilize, pasteurize the mixture pretty well. And there you go. I've bottled 16 120ml jars. These were the ones from my trial batch, and there's a bit left over in the fridge for me. This is the leftover pulp, sweetened, citric acid, a bit of water. So this is basically a sort of a sauce, compote, whatever you want to call it, in addition. But you can eat it on its own. And it's very delicious. You should be aware with any pulp juice, they're very common nowadays in shops and there, that a glass full of juice like this is many fruit. A glass full could be 5, 6, 10 fruit inside it. And eating that many fruit could have some interesting effects on your body, let's call it that. And that's why I put them into small jars, just to use a small amount at a time. But it's very nice. So in addition to the Feijoa pulp we've preserved, we've also made Feijoa chutney. And altogether, it's just a tiny amount of the Feijoas that are on the vine. Some we eat straight, and we preserve just this lot. But there's hundreds and hundreds more. It's so prolific, this plant. Here we've got Feijoa cake with almond slices and the Feijoa juice or pulp, whatever you want to call it. Yum. We haven't got ice cream. Ice cream would be good with this. Look at that. Sweet like crazy, but delicious. Feijoas. Yum. Nice big one. Some creature ate this whole one. Overnight, I think, because it wasn't here yesterday. Many times people say, oh, you don't need to use poisons or anything or shoot them because you can share your fruit. It's usually nonsense. In this particular case, we do have heaps of Feijoas, way too many to use in fact, so they can have one or two. Or I'll shoot them if I see them. What was it? A rat or a rabbit probably. Today I'm making Feijoa jam. Feijoas, still got thousands of them out in the orchard. Cut them in half, scoop them out with the spoon, put the flesh in there and throw the halves in the sink. And repeat over and over again. I'm after about 2 kilos. Then I'll just boil up with jam and a lemon, and we'll end up jam and a lemon. I mean sugar and a lemon, and then we'll get jam. That's 1.6 kilos actually of cored Feijoas. Just going to boil them until they're soft. It's Feijoa jam day. Boiling the Feijoas, adding the sugar, Feijoa husks, and Ziggy helping. What a cat. I dehydrated some Feijoa slices and they're very nice. So that was 9 hours at 60 degrees C. They're quite chewy. I'm just going to put them in a bag. Yummy.